Welcome to a tour of the RGJ's mothership, the Pequod. The Pequod is a MISC Starfarer type ship. Wanted to start the tour from up here just so you can get an idea of how big this whole ship is. CIG actually had to design a bigger hangar because this one wouldn't fit, and I imagine when this actually goes out into the universe at Crusader, in Port Alisar, they're gonna have to design a bigger landing pad because this thing is just ginormous. But some things about it, the Starfarer is a dedicated tanker and transport. It's a crew of 7, has turrets, a reactor room, escape pods, barracks, captain's quarters, and more. And we'll go over all of that in this video. It's a great place for us to start in our foray into the Star Citizen galaxy, and I think it'll give us a lot of options and opportunities. So like I said, it's initially designed as a tanker, and it includes equipment for collecting and refining spaceborne hydrogen. There's not too much info out there right now about how exactly you do that. I know you fly into some sort of cloud vapor or something, and the systems on the ship turn that into fuel. There's also plenty of standard cargo space, plus defensive weaponry that we'll talk about. You can see the 2 rear turrets right here, and these giant cylinders are actually what contains the fuel. Now, if I go up to one of the landing gears and go into third person, you just get a sense of how big this ship actually is. This is me, the very tip of the landing gear, and I'm completely dwarfed by this ship, so it's massive, and you can get lost in it pretty easily at the beginning. So like I said, these are the 2 rear turrets. There's 3 turrets total, 1 on the top and then these 2 to the rear. And yes, that is a spoiler on the top of this ship. I'm not sure why it has a spoiler. But we go around, the other side's pretty much the same. We got, looks like, 8 of these gas fuel cylinders, and then up there that I'm looking at right now is actually a walkway that you can get on from inside the ship that controls, what I would assume controls the refueling and stuff, and these piping is sort of acts as a fueling arm that the ships can attach to. So we're going to go ahead and go inside. This is, as far as I know, this is the only way to get in from the inside. There's a docking collar that you can get in later, but let's just check out this animation. Pretty slick animation. The first time it actually crushed me, so feeling a little bit better about that. Okay, so like I said, this is the only way to enter this ship from the ground. This is the cargo hold. We've got plenty of space. This holds over 3,000 cargo units. I won't go too much into detail about how cargo works because none of it's set in stone yet. So we're going to be doing update videos on every element of the Starfarer that comes out as the game is developed. But right now we're just going to do a tour of what's in the game so far. And I don't want to hypothesize too much because then this video might be wrong. It looks like we have some passenger seats here. We can haul cargo, passengers, and all sorts of things. As you can see, the ceiling's pretty high in this room, so there's a lot of space for hauling purposes. I'm gonna head in here first. There's stairs, there's ladders, there's elevators all over this place, and I'm gonna try to break down each room as easily as I can. So these sort of things that are empty actually will hold EVA suits, the suits that you wear in Alisar and in Arena Commander that allow you to breathe in space. Since the ship is so large, you actually won't be walking around in the EVA suits like you would in a Constellation or a Vanguard or something. So whenever you're not using them, they'll be stowed in these, and there's more of these throughout the ship. This is the docking collar, which you can use to dock with other ships that have docking collars, obviously like Constellations, other ships. I imagine the Freelancer, because it's produced by the same company, MISC, which stands for, I can't remember. It's written somewhere on the ship, though. It's an acronym. So that little room is by itself. It's one of the only rooms that doesn't connect to anything else. So we're going to go ahead and go up on the second floor of the cargo hold. Mind your head. Flight of stairs. So this is lock 01. And this is actually a functioning airlock, as you can tell by these vents here. The windows are a bit glitchy, but you can see out into the cargo hold from here. This big thing is actually what depressurizes and pressurizes the room. And you need that because this door leads out into that fueling arm I was talking about earlier. Now, I think it'll be really cool, you know, you could be out here in your EVA suit, seeing other ship, seeing like a ship behind you being refueled out in space, and I don't know, that's just a cool sight to see. A bunch of these terminals out here, and I imagine, you know, they'll be used for checking fuel storage or something along those lines, or maybe initiating the fuel thing. So this leads to the interior, and then these actually, you can call elevators to go up. And we're going to do that right now. Now this is a little hard to do. I get it. There we go. So there's more of the spots for EVA suits, like I said. This is another elevator that leads down to the exact same spot. This, I believe, is the gravity generator. So if this is damaged or something, you might lose gravity on the ship. Be much harder to get around. And the elevators wouldn't work, probably. Actually, let's head over here first. This, I'm not really sure what this is. I think it's a power generator or something. I'm sure we'll get more information on it later, but it looks really important because it has its own room dedicated to it. These are some escape pods. There's escape pods all over the ship. I haven't counted them, but there's probably like around 8 or 9. As you can see, there's some that are open that you can get a better idea, but they're pretty much standing room only. There's not that much room in them. They're all over the ship because, again, it's such a big ship that, you know, not everybody's going to be on the bridge. If something catastrophic happens, you know, you're going to want these all over the ship so that you can get out as quickly as you can. Excuse me. This is one of the, I don't know, engineering little alleyways. These stuff that says like these like generic boxes, I think will be replaced by components that you can buy and sell on the market or acquire in missions. The CIG is still developing the component system, so I don't really have that much information about that. To get through that tunnel, though, you have to crawl, which is pretty spooky. Kind of immersive, though. There's a ladder. I don't want to go up that just yet. So here we were in here, and I just came through here. We have more systems. I don't know what any of this stuff does yet. And CIG probably doesn't even know what they do yet. But I imagine eventually all this will have a purpose. So this is another lift, it looks like, and I think that goes to the living quarters, but I don't want to do that just yet. Yeah, it does. There's signs all over the ground to help you get your bearings at first. So this actually goes to living quarters again. Alright, so we came from over here down the this is just sort of a maintenance area of the ship, and here's some open escape pods that you can see. Yeah, you basically have enough room to stand, and that's it. This long hallway here leads to one of the turrets. It's really important when we have a crew, they can get to these turrets quickly at any times from where they are on the ship. The turret, seat, I can't get into the seat right now because it's not finished yet, but the seat will go down into that airlock down there. This actually becomes, you know, this depressurizes or pressurizes itself. And then the seat actually flips upside down so that you're actually orientated the way the turret is. You'll be upside down relative to the ship. You also got some nice windows here so you can look out into space and refueling or whatever traveling is going on. Okay, so More maintenance. We've already been through this area. We're gonna go ahead and go to the living quarters and see where the crew of the Pequod will be spending their time. So the elevator's already down here. And I think a really nice design here is if you lose power, there's already a ladder right next to the elevators if they become non-functional. This is the living quarters. It also doubles as the entry of the main turret, which goes up. So the big turret on the top is directly below us right now. And MISC stands for Musashi Industrial and Starflight Concern. Whatever that means. So there's multiple ways to get into the living quarters. I think there's 3. And this is the top floor of the ship. So there's like 4 decks in total. The 4th deck is comprised of just the living quarters. Over here we have living quarters and beds for, looks like 6 people. Just regular crewmen. We got lockers here, which I imagine you could use for personal storage of personal items and stuff. And then over here, bathroom, male and female. And the very space-efficient shower toilet, which I'm sure we'll make great use of. Over here is more maintenance. This, I'm sort of guessing on this, but this looks like, because this says processor access panel, I imagine this is like probably where the main server of the ship is located, or something to do with computers. But this is the dining hall, which is a cool, just like, gathering spot if you're not doing anything important. There's a kitchen here. I don't even know if you're going to be able to eat or anything in the game, but you got a kitchen, dining room. I really like these skylight windows. I think that's a really nice touch. And this door leads to the exclusive captain's quarters. This desk is just like a nice place for the captain to do work pertaining to the ship if he's not on the bridge. We'll be heading to the bridge soon. And this is the captain's bed. A nice spaceman themed comforter. And a personal window that he can see. Again, the textures on the window are pretty glitchy right now. And his own bathroom. That's basically all there is in the living quarters. Again, this top turret is the heaviest turret we have on the bridge, or not on the bridge, on the Starfarer. So we're gonna have to make good use of that. It's called the lift. And we're back down in maintenance. So we've already been everywhere here. I'm going slow now, so you guys can... I was sort of sprinting everywhere earlier, I apologize. And we're heading down back to the 2nd floor of the cargo area, so we've already been to the area that we're going to right now. So you can get an idea. It looks like you can stack cargo pretty high in here. I mean, this is a very big room. I saw a trailer. They had one of those gray cat buggies in there, so I imagine you can do that. And this terminal here, I think, will be used for like cargo manifesting, like whoever like the ship's quartermaster is, whoever's responsible for the cargo of the ship. You know, I'm sure you'll be able to organize the cargo from this terminal, see what's inside, that sort of thing. And this leads to the bridge past that door. You have multiple escape pods for the people who are working on the bridge. And this is the bridge where all the magic happens. You got 2... Don't really know what these tertiary seats are gonna do. I imagine stuff with ship systems. I can take a seat in one so you guys can see. Don't really have any idea what they're gonna do, and probably won't know until the ship's either flyable or they add more gameplay mechanics to the game. And again, I'll be making update videos as the Starfarer gets more equipment and stuff, and we know more about it. This is the captain's chair. Currently can't sit in it, unfortunately, but I imagine he'll have some sort of display that gives him general info about every part on the ship. And he's not actually, the captain doesn't fly it. He's actually got a nice view through all the windows, but he'll instruct the pilot and the co-pilot. The pilot seat's over here, and then you got the co-pilot over here who manages other systems. Will take a seat in his chair first. The chairs are on these little tracks on the ground. They come in and out electronically. You got, I mean, for a ship this size, you've got pretty good visibility, I feel. And the ships, that's the gun poking out right there. There's another one below it, and they're sort of really massive guns that I assume the pilot will have control of, that are coming off the neck of the Starfarer that they can fire. Alright, let's take a seat. So, if you're ever lucky enough to fly the Pequod, this is what your view will be like. No idea how it'll fly or anything, but if we go into third person here, yeah, you get a size of how big the ship is in comparison. There's the neck guns I was talking about. You can see the top turret from here, as well as the fancy spoiler. And then if I zoom out a little bit more, the smaller turrets underneath. And, you know, some nice windows. To really, I mean, it's not like a fancy ship by any means, but the design of it's really functional. It makes sense. And let me go back into first person. I think it'll be a great start for the RGJ fleet to have such a big multi-crew ship like this. Alright, coming off the bridge. There's not really much else to show. If I go up this ladder, there's maintenance accesses on both wings of these ships. Right now, if you walk near these ladders, you actually get like pulled towards them like this to go up them. I'm sure they'll fix that later. It's just kind of annoying. And this pathway leads to the other turret, which we did not go to. So if we head back down, you can exit the ship, and I can wrap this up. So yeah, we'll be using the ship primarily. I can imagine we'll make good money using cargo, hauling cargo in this and other ships that we own. And their fueling will be lucrative, I can imagine. Not everybody's going to want to go to a big spaceport to refuel. And we can refuel other friendly ships that are the members of the community or other friends we make in the universe. I can actually show you where they say you take in the air to refuel. That's on the outside of the ship. First, let's get out of here. Let's open her up. This is a very big, heavy door, and you get sort of a feeling from that animation. So, and you need a really big ramp like that to haul cargo up and down. Underneath, I was curious, the docking collar. I don't actually know where the docking collar opens. I get down there to the ground maybe and crawl underneath. You imagine being under the ship when it takes off? Like, I'd be pretty scared. Yeah, I can't actually see where the docking collar is, but I know it's on the bottom. Wow, that is really weird. Whatever. Not that important. But yeah, you can see how big the neck guns are on this ship. Pretty big, pretty heavy firepower. Oh, is this it? Oh, here it is, right here, guys. The docking car. And luckily, I think it's kind of a safety purpose that the docking room doesn't connect to any other part of the ship. I mean, if you get boarded by pirates, obviously that's something you don't want them to be right next to the bridge and kill everybody on board, you know. If there's a problem with the pressurization of the room, you know, just stuff like that. And actually, from a video I was watching, CIG said that you actually get the air that you use to refine from that vent on the front of the ship, so you fly nose first into like an atmosphere of a planet or whatever, like Crusader, like the gas giants planets, and you refine that airborne gas into fuel, which is hopefully inert, because if you're carrying around, excuse me, volatile fuel, that's going to make for one hell of an explosion when anything bad happens, which hopefully it won't, because in the next, as the game gets closer to release and the ship is flight ready, you know, we'll be doing a couple drills, getting everybody familiar with the layout of the ship. If anyone has any questions, they can ask me, and yeah, we're really looking forward to using the ship as a community. It's going to require a lot of teamwork to keep it up and running and to use it to the highest function that we can. The ship is, the length of it is 100 meters. It weighs 350,000 kilograms. A max crew of 7 people. You got a cargo capacity of 3,321, I think. So the Pequod is quite the ship. It's the biggest ship in the game of the time of this recording that's actually modeled. Obviously there'll be bigger ships that come out later. But, you know, it's really exciting, and I hope you guys appreciate the tour, and I can't wait for you guys to get inside the Pequod yourselves. See ya!